Well, let's cross over to again our correspondent in Agulu. Remember, Dele Omoyeni did bring us some update earlier that the candidate had arrived and to check if voting was going on smoothly, as he did say, but left. We understand that he is back at the scene. Let's cross over and find out if that. Okay, there you go. There's a live images coming through from Agulu in Anambra State, where our correspondent is. Maybe we should go ahead and just listen for a bit and see if we could get a feel of what is going on there. Okay, it does appear as though there's the kind of scenario that you've spoken about previously that we should try and avoid, if I can see clearly. And so, okay, well, those images appear to be frozen at the moment. But yes, you can see that some activity going on there about him trying to vote. So there you go. Well, that's expected. I mean, in that kind of environment, there'll be lots of pushing, shoving going on.
Is that him sitting down?
Yes, that is him sitting. Well, okay, what, gentlemen, is he sitting waiting for his turn?
Yeah,
how does this look?
Our correspondent told us earlier about the chairs arranged for. So that's their own queue.
You can very, very well. The presidential candidate is seated, taking his number, getting ready. I think it's about the 6th to 7th person, in line waiting to vote. We are live. Can you bend down? If you bend down, because we are right, just go right. Yes, you're
Seated, waiting. We don't know when it will be his turn or whose turn it will be next or before him, because just trying to see how this queue, this scenario will pan out up until when he goes ahead and votes. But this is a scenario which we're trying to take a look at here with the gentleman in the studio as to the circumstances that could have played out before the chairs came through. But yes, you can also see different cameras, different people trying to get a sneak peek of what may happen. So he's upstanding now. I think
they're moving chairs.
Moving the chairs.
No, they're moving.
No, they are moving. It's like a queue.
The queue is moving.
Oh, so that's how the queue
That's
moves.
how they're moving.
You stand to the seat and
like,
so that means he's in queue then waiting for the several people who are before him.
Yeah, just like if you go to take your vaccination or anything and they offer you chairs, there's still a queue.
I think if you say when I'm in the bank, I'll understand it faster.
Yeah.
I
remember when last we took a vaccination.
Yeah, that when I went for vaccination. So there you go. So I think that's an official in front trying to ensure that people don't, anyways, ridiculous jump the queue. So that's an elderly person who is going up next.
You see how queues are
all
moving?
moving gradually.
You take a number.
It was difficult to take numbers here, so I think that seating arrangement, or by I think they expect that it speaks for itself, where just keep moving from one chair to the other. So I think about 3 people before him, from what we see here from the camera perspective. So probably.
Now you see, another person has left, and the next person moves to the next chair.
Okay, so 2 more people before himself.
Yeah.
Looks like it's the process seems to be pretty fast so far from what we see.
He told us 5 minutes.
He took 5 minutes.
His reports. He told us like 5 minutes.
No, it's 5 minutes.
That is per person.
Daily told
person.
us 5 minutes.
So
per
not
perform
the
that
queue
duty.
to move, but when it gets to your turn.
That's within the threshold, isn't
To
it?
go through the process itself. First of all, the accreditation, taking of the ballots, and then the actual voting itself.
Oh, okay. So that's at least acceptable threshold. 5 minutes.
Well, it could be faster, but
like 3
all
minutes?
considered, I think this is even much faster than the card reader, generally speaking.
Yeah, it was. I think they were saying 3 minutes. They mock.
Okay, mock show 3 minutes. Okay, so here's an average of 5 minutes. Okay, so they're almost there. Just about 1 more person before they do go ahead, and we could see the boxes for the presidential, the Senate, and the House of Representatives seats. Well, it doesn't matter in what order they arrange them, basically. So the boxes are there. You know which, as long as the electorate know which box to put what in, so that you don't mix the entire thing up. I think it's also going to make it a lot faster for collation. That's once you do it right, because if those things are not properly done, sorting will be impeded. And I think those are the kind of things that eat into the time with which you need to collate and announce results. So probably when the chairman of INEC says, well, you can't put a time to it, perhaps we must have factored these kind of considerations or circumstances.
So I think he's got to his turn now.
Almost his turn now. Just okay, he will be next. Himself? Okay. I think he's next.
Is that the wife?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
his wife.
That's the wife. Okay, so he's proceeded now to. Okay, the camera seems to be at a distance from where he'll be.
You know, it's that thing about each of the journalists or those with the cameras wanting to catch a picture of the principal.
So chances are that the open secret nature of the ballot is being preserved here. If the cameras are not in that close proximity to
where they're to the polling
cubicle
booth.
But gentlemen, we can't see any cubicle here. Can we assume that a certain area is described as a cubicle?
It's not within the camera view to appear, because just like your camera is not where they are actually doing the accreditation.
Oh, okay.
At the far end of the row, towards the end of you'll see where the accreditation is being done. But you can hardly see it. The camera is not focusing on that.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. I think he's casting his vote now.
No, it should be. I think it's accrediting. He will come back towards view to cast his vote.
To drop those ballots in the boxes.
Indeed, he's indicating his choice somewhere else, further away from the view of the camera.
Okay. So that is what is expected of the process. Once you get your ballot paper, you go to a designated area, the thumbprint,
do the accreditation, and then
the accreditation. After which, you then go ahead and drop it. So
open to cast it, drop it.
So he'll be given 3 ballot papers.
Yes.
Okay, so cameramen are expected to move back.
Okay. Check here.
Okay, so probably we'll be putting the box anytime soon to drop his ballot paper. For him to just come through hasn't happened yet. So those are live images coming through from Agulu in Anambra State, where the presidential candidate of the Labour Party is performing his civic responsibility. So we'll go ahead and bring it for you very soon. So we're also keeping that here. But gentlemen, I'm just looking through all of this. I know that the process requires transmission of results, and they will rely on, of course, the internet, the network penetration and capacity to ensure that that happens. That hasn't come up yet. Perhaps we haven't been to or spoken getting directly or getting to that point where we get to ask any of those INEC officials, because voting has got to be concluded before they can do that. But gentlemen, if the network seems to have some sort of challenge, should we be worried or concerned about transmission of results?
I don't think so. Fortunately, for the process of accreditation, all the data is in the Beavers machine itself. So you're offline when you're doing that. So it doesn't matter. But at the stage of transmitting, then it needs sufficient bandwidth to be able to transmit. If there isn't enough at the particular polling unit, as you move towards the collation, of course, you prompt it to send it. Whether it arrives at the back end is another issue, but definitely will do so before they get to the collation at one of the collation points.
Okay. We understand he's voting at the moment.
Yeah, so that'll be inside the booth. But while we're waiting for him to step out, I'd like to ask: are you saying the device will prompt itself as it gets to where network is? So the official doesn't need to open it up.
First of all, he needs to prompt it at the polling unit.
Okay.
He needs to press the relevant green button, send, so that it's uploaded.
Okay.
So, but just like your phone, you can send a message, and there's no network to deliver it at that time. But as soon as signals get stronger, either in that particular locality or as you move to the collation center, it will
go immediately.
Yes.
And no need for no interference whatsoever.
There should be no need for a second press. But even if you press it yet again, there's no problem about that.
Okay.
So just waiting for him to approach the ballot boxes and drop his ballot. So he's thumbprinting in that designated area. So he's approaching the ballot boxes now, having thumbprinted on the ballot papers, 3 of them actually. So he's just going to approach any of those and drop it. I mean, clearly they all don't fold their ballot papers uniformly, so it's allowed. As long as you ensure that the way you handle it does not invalidate your ballot.
It looks like he's waiting for his wife.
Oh, so that you can do that together.
I think so.
So, gentlemen, this seems to be a pretty appears controlled environment and circumstances at the moment from the images we see here. So, because we're also emphasizing that people understand and know that how they conduct themselves at the polling units is hugely important. So of those, what my colleagues like to call 4-horse race, or several other people describe as a 4-horse race, the NNPP candidate is the one who we are now waiting to see what happens. But as you can see, this is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party himself and the wife voting in Anambra State as we speak. Those are live images coming through for you from those areas. So that's him and the wife performing their civic responsibility of casting their vote today. So what a journey it's been for all those who have voted today. So there you go, that has been done. He's dropped it, so the wife will follow suit and drop her ballot papers in the boxes. So who knows, he might just say a word or two to newsmen, you never know. So we'll keep them rolling. So there you go, himself and the wife have dropped their ballot papers in the ballot boxes. Okay, looks as if it's quite a challenge getting to get my colleagues to go outside as everybody's telling them so that they can allow the personnel there to do their thing. So I'm hoping that I know that can be frustrating for a lot of people, but I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of any electoral officer right now who's trying to ensure that things are done right. So they'll be there almost all day to perform this job. But the good thing about all of that is that this is what they've been trained for. This is what they've been training for all this while. So we expect them to bring all of that to bear in this particular circumstance. I see what I'm playing now. So, well. It appears they won't speak until they all go outside and
I don't think
he's
ready to talk until everybody calms down.
Excuse me.
Is he going back inside now? I'm not sure. He's trying to go back. Maybe he's just trying to pick the thing up.
See, like that is coming to Okay. Otherwise, just to give them.
All right, we're going to come back to the studio soon. All right, so there you go. That is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and his wife just performing their civic responsibility of casting their votes. So now of the four, we await the same scenario in terms of going out there to cast their vote for the NNPP presidential candidate. So many are looking to see how that scenario and environment will play out. So, gentlemen, we've seen 3 of those and now waiting for one more, and then look to all the other 18 presidential candidates, hopefully, as well as, don't forget that the National Assembly positions also playing out today. That's why you see 3 boxes in many of those other areas. The senatorial positions and the members of the House of Representatives, they are equally important because they determine how the laws are made. They were the ones actually who I think I could say the country had to battle to ensure that the Electoral Act comes through.